Michael adjusted his tie for the third time, checking his reflection in the restaurant window. Blind dates weren't his thing, but his sister had insisted this one would be different. "Just trust me," she'd said with that knowing smile of hers. He took a deep breath and walked inside. The hostess led him to a table where a woman with chestnut hair sat with her back to him. As he approached, she turned, and their eyes met. She was beautiful, familiar somehow, but he couldn't place her. Her smile faltered slightly as she studied his face. "Michael?" she asked, standing to greet him. "Yes, that's me." "You must be Emma." He extended his hand, which she took with a gentle squeeze. They settled into an awkward silence as they studied their menus. Michael felt her eyes on him periodically, a strange intensity in her gaze that made him both curious and uncomfortable. After they ordered, Emma took a sip of water and leaned forward. "You don't remember me, do you?" The question caught him off guard. He studied her face more carefully, searching for a connection. "I'm sorry, have we met before?" Emma's smile was sad now. "We went to high school together. I sat behind you in AP English for an entire year." Michael felt heat rise to his face. "I'm so sorry, I don't." "It's okay," she interrupted. "I looked different then. Braces, glasses, different hair." She tucked a strand behind her ear. "Plus, I was practically invisible." Something clicked. "Wait. Emma Pearson?" She nodded, a genuine smile breaking through. "The very same." Memories flooded back, a quiet girl who always had her nose in a book, who wrote the most incredible essays their teacher would read aloud. The girl who'd helped him understand Shakespeare when he was struggling to pass. "I can't believe it's you," he said, genuinely amazed at the transformation. "Your sister didn't mention we knew each other." "I asked her not to," Emma admitted. "I wanted to see if you'd recognize me." "Why would you want to go on a date with me? I barely acknowledged you back then." Emma's eyes softened. "That's not entirely true. You might not remember, but you were kind to me once when it mattered most." As the evening progressed, Emma told him about the day in senior year when a group of girls had humiliated her in the cafeteria, knocking her tray and books to the floor. While everyone else had laughed or looked away, Michael had helped her gather her things and walked her to her next class. "It was such a small thing to you, probably," she said, "but it was everything to me. That day, I'd been feeling so low I wasn't sure I wanted to keep going. Your simple act of kindness gave me hope." Michael had no recollection of this moment that had meant so much to her. The realization that he'd impacted someone's life so profoundly without even knowing it shook him. "What happened after graduation?" he asked. "I lost track of most people." Emma's story unfolded over dinner. She'd gone to college on a scholarship, studied literature and business, and now ran a successful publishing house specializing in young adult fiction. Her journey hadn't been easy. She'd faced rejection, financial struggles, and a brief, painful marriage. "Life has a way of testing us," she said. "But I've learned that resilience isn't about never falling, it's about how you get back up." Michael found himself captivated not just by her beauty, but by her wisdom and strength. As he shared his own story, his failed attempt at medical school, his father's death, finding his passion in architectural restoration, he felt a connection forming that transcended their brief high school interaction. By dessert, they were laughing like old friends. When Emma excused herself to the restroom, Michael sat back, stunned by the evening's turn. His phone buzzed with a text from his sister. "How's it going? Why didn't you tell me it was Emma Pearson?" he typed back. "Would you have gone if I had?" came the immediate reply. He had to admit she was right. He would have declined, assuming they had nothing in common, or worse, feeling awkward about their disparate high school social standings. When Emma returned, Michael saw her with new eyes. Not as the transformed wallflower or the successful businesswoman, but as someone whose path had crossed with his in meaningful ways he'd never appreciated. "I have a confession," he said as they walked out of the restaurant. "I looked right through you in high school. I was so caught up in my own world that I missed seeing an amazing person sitting right behind me." Emma stopped walking. "We were kids, Michael. We all missed seeing a lot of things. Would you like to get coffee sometime?" he asked. "I'd like to get to know you now, if that's okay." Her smile was answer enough. Over the following weeks, coffee turned into dinners, walks in the park, and long conversations that stretched into the night. Michael discovered that Emma's journey had shaped her into someone who noticed the overlooked, who fought for the underdog. Her publishing company specifically sought out voices that might otherwise go unheard. But their reconnection wasn't without challenges. Emma's past experiences had left her wary of letting people in. One evening, after Michael had introduced her to his friends, she grew distant. "What's wrong?" he asked as they walked back to her apartment. "Your friends are nice," she said carefully. "But I felt like they were trying to figure out why you're with me." "That's ridiculous," Michael started, but Emma shook her head. "Is it? The football player and the bookworm? It's like a cliché movie plot." Michael realized then how deeply high school hierarchies had wounded her, creating insecurities that still surfaced despite her success. "Emma, look at me," he said, taking her hands. "I'm not that person anymore, and neither are you. We're just two adults who enjoy each other's company. Nothing else matters." Their biggest test came when Emma's ex-husband reappeared, claiming he wanted to reconcile. The man who had belittled her dreams and left when her company was struggling now saw her success and wanted back in her life. Michael watched her wrestle with the decision, afraid to influence her but terrified of losing her. When she finally told her ex no, she explained to Michael, "I realized I deserve someone who sees me, all of me, not just the parts that are convenient or impressive." 6 months after their blind date, Michael took Emma back to their high school during a holiday break when the building was empty. With special permission from a janitor who remembered them both, they walked the quiet halls. "Why are we here?" Emma asked, her voice echoing slightly. Michael led her to their old English classroom. On the desk where she used to sit, he'd placed a small wrapped package. "What's this?" she asked, picking it up. "Open it." Inside was a first-edition copy of Pride and Prejudice, her favorite book, she'd once mentioned. And tucked inside the cover was a note, "To the girl I should have seen. Thank you for giving me a second chance to get it right." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Michael, I've been thinking about what you said about kindness and how small actions can change someone's life. You changed mine by agreeing to that blind date. You helped me see that we're all just people trying to find our way, and sometimes the most important connections are the ones we almost miss." As they left the school, hand in hand, Emma stopped by the main entrance. "You know, for years I dreamed about walking these halls with you, being seen by you. Reality turned out better than the dream." "How so?" Michael asked. "Because the real you is so much more than the boy I imagined. You're flawed and real and trying, just like me." 1 year to the day after their blind date, Michael proposed in the same restaurant where they'd reconnected. As Emma said yes, he marveled at how differently his life might have turned out if his sister hadn't set them up, if Emma hadn't been brave enough to face him again. Their wedding was small but meaningful. In his vows, Michael said, "Some people spend their whole lives looking for their perfect match, never realizing they might have already met them in passing. I'm grateful that fate gave us another chance, and I promise to never again overlook the miracle that you are." Emma's publishing house continued to thrive, and Michael's architectural firm specialized in restoring historic buildings, giving new life to structures others had written off, a metaphor not lost on either of them. They started a foundation that provided scholarships to overlooked students with potential, remembering how close they both came to missing their own paths. At each award ceremony, they told their story, reminding the recipients that everyone deserves to be seen. Years later, when their daughter asked how they met, they told her the truth, that sometimes life gives second chances, that kindness matters even when you think no one notices, and that love often finds us when we least expect it, sometimes sitting right behind us all along. Thank you for watching this story of recognition, second chances, and the power of being truly seen. If Emma and Michael's journey touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more stories that remind us of our shared humanity and the unexpected ways our lives intersect. What moment in your life changed everything? Was there someone you overlooked who later became important to you? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's remember together that it's never too late for a second chance at connection.